Howdy, folks. I'm the Old Ranger with an exciting new story of real life in the Old West. Long before it became known as the sport of kings, horse racing was one of the world's favorite pastimes. And nowhere did it enjoy greater popularity than in the Old West. This is the story of a fateful Nevada stake race, and I call it Half a Loaf. The story begins, however, not on the western frontier, but in far-off Virginia.
All right, I have $900. Going once, going twice. Sold to the gentleman for $900. Come, gentlemen. Now, just a moment. The sale may not be quite over. I crave your indulgence for just a moment.
Now what?
Well, there won't be much left after the creditors are paid. I thought you might have changed your mind about Country Squire.
Look, we went through all that before. This was my father's favorite horse, and he is not for sale.
Well, he's way past his racing prime, and he's lame to boot.
You let me worry about that. Besides, I'm taking him as part of my share.
All right, gentlemen. All right, the sale is over. I know you gentlemen are anxious to get away, so I'll hurry up with the accounting.
He was right, you know, about Squire.
I'm willing to gamble my last penny I can get him into shape by the time the track opens.
But you don't have much left to gamble with, Greg. And it costs a lot to ship a horse to Saratoga.
Well, I'll squeak through.
I'll tell you what. I'll pay half of Squire's shipping charges and half his keep till you find out whether that leg clears up.
All right, on one condition.
What's that?
Half of everything I win goes to you.
All right. But you get half of all the gold I dig up.
Are you still going to sit out for Nevada?
That's right. It's a deal.
Whatever either of us comes up with, we share and share alike.
Keep your britches on, Sonny. We'll get there.
Couldn't we go just a bit faster?
Scared there won't be no gold left?
No, but it's a long road from Virginia. Now that I'm on the last lap, seems I can hardly wait. We'll be at least an hour late, won't we?
An hour? Nope. Won't be more than 55 minutes late getting into church, Rick.
Mind now, Pee-wee. Give him a good rub down.
Yes, sir, Mr. Murdoch.
Mr. Murdoch. What's up, Dawson? Oh, boys.
Hi, Murdoch.
Well, we're making up a pool on how late old Charlie will bring in the stage today. Do you want in for $20?
Why not? I'll take 55 minutes.
Why, shucks, old Charlie's nearly 55 minutes late already.
Oh, I didn't realize what time it was. Well, I guess that's one on me, boys. The stage would have to be practically within hailing distance right now, or I'd lose.
$55 minutes exactly. You win, Mr. Murdoch.
How does he do?
Well, now, wasn't that something? Sure pays a man to forget to look at his watch once in a while, doesn't it?
Oh,
Sure. Well, thank you, boys. Thank you very much. Now, how about coming across to the saloon? The drinks are on me.
that's a good idea.
You did it again, Pop, after you promised me.
Well, I'm sorry, Helen, but I thought I had that Murdoch dead to rights this time.
Nobody ever has Sure Thing Murdoch dead to rights. Look, chances are he had it fixed up with old Charlie to bring the stage in at exactly 55 minutes late.
Now, you know that old Charlie wouldn't do a thing like that.
Well, he not only would, but he did.
Now, ain't I got troubles enough without a stranger butting in?
Sorry.
Oh, you're not butting in as far as I'm concerned. Look, it's time that the people in Cherry Creek learned a lesson about Sure Thing Murdoch. Why, he's won bets around here about everything from wrestling matches to how many crackers there are in a barrel.
Well, that still don't prove that Charlie was in on this.
Well, I rode up on the box with him. And he told me we'd be 55 minutes late getting into Cherry Creek. Why, he walked the horses along and then he speeded them up just to make it look natural.
Well, that still could be just one of those things.
One of those sure things.
All right, have it your own way.
Poor Pop. Oh, if you want something, I'd be glad to help you.
Well, I'm going prospecting. And I picked out this shovel and, well, the truth is, I'm too green even to know what I need.
Well, the mining stuff's all over there.
Oh. Well, I see you run the post office here, too. Oh, I sure hope there's a letter for me pretty soon.
Oh, sounds important. Your wife?
Oh, not married.
The best girl?
My brother. All the family I got left.
Well, if you let me know where your diggings are, well, I'll try to get word to you if a letter comes. That is, if you tell me your name.
Oh, sure thing. I mean, Lamont Carlyle. Good to see you, Helen. You too, Pop.
Yeah.
Say, what brings you all the way out here?
Well, they had a little supplies to run the mine. You know, before you come along, I used to be able to make these deliveries all by myself.
Pop, you know why I came this time. It's lucky you sent us word you were changing your diggings to Sugarloaf Hill.
You don't mean a letter finally came?
On this morning stage.
You know, I'm the duly appointed postmaster at Cherry Creek. But my delivering that piece of mail wasn't good enough for her.
Good news?
Well, Squire, that's the thoroughbred I was telling you about. Is almost over his lameness. The very first week of the Saratoga meeting, Greg picked 7 winners. And,
What?
Nothing but losers ever since. In fact, he's flatter than a flapjack. Had to take a job in the stable. Yeah, I wish I could send him a little money. The truth is, I'm almost busted myself. Well, I guess I was dreaming to think I could find a gold mine.
Well, wake up and quit dreaming. I think you've been standing on one.
A gold mine? Right here, you mean I'm standing on it?
Well, what do you expect, Nuggets? I've done a little prospecting in my day. That looks like pay dirt. Just don't stand there.
But I...
Butts is for billy goats. Get your claim markers up. You can ride into town with us. And bring plenty of those samples for your assayers.
Not yet?
No.
Well, I went ahead and filed the claim already. You think I was a fool not to wait till you finished the assay report?
Yes and no.
Well, what does that mean?
Well, there's gold there, but it ain't high grade. Probably wouldn't run you more than $40 a ton. And you're going to have to move a lot of rock to make it pay. I don't think you'll ever make a go of it alone.
Well, I made my brother a half partner in the claim. I already wrote him to come out right away.
That won't do much good if all he's got is just muscles. You're going to need a lot of heavy equipment to get that ore out. You're going to need a stamp mill, all of which is going to take a lot of capital.
I see. Well, you suppose I could buy it on the strength of this assay report?
Oh, you mind get backing from any of a dozen different outfits in Denver or maybe even in San Francisco?
Well, I couldn't afford the fare there.
There's one local man that might be persuaded to loan you the money.
You mean you?
No, I was referring to Mr. Murdoch.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm kind of afraid to do business with him.
He's the only man in these parts with the cash you're looking for. So if you don't want to do business with him, you just ain't doing business.
Thank you.
Well, my friend, I've already got those papers all drawn up for you.
That's so.
Yes, sirree. You'll never find moss growing on any proposition Samuel T. Murdoch is interested in.
Well, it must be a pretty good investment. Because I understand you never back anything that's not a sure thing.
That's right. I like sure things. And that's what you've got right here, a sure thing. But the proper equipment, that is. Without it, you've got nothing but calluses.
All right, let's see the papers.
I'm only charging you 10% interest. And the payment on the principal won't be due for 90 days.
That's mighty soon.
And to save time, I've already made out a draft to the Great Western Mining Equipment Company of Sacramento. You just endorse it and get it in the mail right away, and you'll be able to make those payments like they were peanuts.
Yes, but according to this agreement, if I should happen to default, you get to mine.
Well, now, a man puts up $15,000, he's entitled to protection. Anyone else you'd borrow from is going to demand the same thing. Well?
Just pen and ink in my tent. Excuse me. You sure put one over on me, didn't you, Murdoch?
Well, I can't imagine what you're talking about.
This letter from the Great Western Mining Equipment Company. Informing me they won't be able to make deliveries on that equipment for at least 120 days.
Well, now, that's a real darn right shame.
Oh, I knew you'd cry your eyes out for me. Especially since the first payment on that contract is due you in 90 days. You found yourself a sure thing, all right, didn't you?
Well, now, how was I to know they were short of machinery?
Well, maybe this will refresh your memory. In fact, we had already informed Mr. Murdoch of the unavoidable delay in all deliveries.
Carlyle, I guess the rocks and the men are just a little bit too hard for you out here in the West.
What'd he say?
He's actually proud of the way he tricked me. And the worst part of it is, it's like he says, all according to law.
Well, can't you get your money back and buy the equipment somewhere else?
Not a chance. They already cashed the bank draft and entered the order. There must be some law to protect people against a slippery customer like him.
No one in this town's ever had the courage to take Murdoch to court.
Maybe it's about time someone did.
Ready for the verdict. Litigants will rise. The evidence shows that you were deliberately deceived and done in. But we happen to have a principle in law, caveat emptor, which means let the buyer beware. Now, you bought the money, but this court can do nothing about the terms except to urge you to do a little more bewaring the next time you make any deal, particularly with men of the defendant's nature. However, an investigation of the title to the Sugar Loaf mine reveals that Lamont and Gregory Carlyle were not registered as co-owners, but as individual owners of a 50% share apiece.
Well, what has that got to do with it?
Under the law, Lamont Carlyle had no right to put up his brother's half interest in this mine. It is therefore the decision of this court that S.T. Murdoch can foreclose only on Lamont Carlyle's half interest in the mine, and that Gregory Carlyle's separate half interest shall remain free and unencumbered. Court is adjourned.
Well, you're pretty slick yourself, ain't you?
Call it that if you like.
Well, what I don't like is being in business with your brother. Where is he, anyway?
I finally heard from him. He's on his way here.
Oh, good. Well, when he shows up, send him around. I never was one to be satisfied with just half a load.
Well, he'll be here any day, Murdoch. But I wouldn't be too anxious to meet him if I were you.
Greg? Greg! Well, hello, brother. How are you?
Gee, it's great to see you, Greg.
Maybe you don't think I'm glad to see you.
Well, what took you so long? I thought you'd never get here.
Neither did I. But the only way I could cross country was on old Squire's back.
Good old Squire.
I just couldn't risk laming him again, so I took it in real easy stages. Every now and then I had to stop off to earn enough for grub. Well, hello.
You're Greg.
That's right.
This is Helen.
Well, I see you really did strike it rich up here, brother. And I don't mean just the Sugarloaf mine.
Oh, Greg, listen, about the mine.
Out of the way, everybody! Get back! Out of the way! Get back!
Horse racing, Western style?
Sure thing, Murdoch style. He's not only got most of the money in town, he owns a horse that just won.
Well, I'd sure like to meet him.
You will. In fact, you're in business with him.
Me?
Here he comes.
Oh, this is my brother.
Well, well, the long-lost brother. You know, I actually thought he made you up. Slick enough to, you know.
We Carlyles don't consider being called slick a compliment.
Oh, well, now, I didn't mean no harm. Me, I like everything slick. Men and, horses. Never saw a breed like that before. What is he?
A thoroughbred.
Oh, my mistake, I guess. I never would have picked that horse for a thoroughbred.
Listen, mister, anytime...
Greg.
You were saying?
Never mind.
It's too bad he doesn't amount to more. I'm sort of running out of horses to race against Starhill. But, about the mine.
Later. My brother and I have some things to talk over first.
I'll be over at the saloon. Thoroughbred, eh?
Why wouldn't you let me take up his challenge? Or are you so set against betting?
Like I said, we got things to talk over.
Bring it through.
Yes. Well, boys, here's to settling our differences.
Sounds like you got an idea on the subject.
Sure thing. I mean, sign your half of the mine over to me, and I'll give you a percentage on all I take out of there.
No.
Well, you haven't even asked me what percentage.
Don't have to. Why, you'd rig the books so that even a mother lode wouldn't show a profit.
You just don't trust me, do you, boys? Well, do you have a better solution to the problem?
Yeah. A little stake race. Our half the mine against yours.
You mean Starhill against your horse?
That's right. What do you say?
Well, I'd want to sleep on it.
Well, I told you to back down, Greg. He only likes a sure thing.
Said I'd let you know in the morning, didn't I?
Well, suit yourself, Murdoch. Come on, Greg.
Where do you want us to start, Mr. Murdoch?
Start your race down at the rock slide. And finish up at this point up there.
That's about the right distance.
All right, let's get started. I'll be waiting down here.
Didn't even have to prod him, Mr. Murdoch. Star Hill had plenty left at the finish.
Good. How about that one?
I pushed him for all he was worth. He just ain't got it.
Heard Murdoch was looking for you boys. Over at the hotel.
Don't worry. He'll find us.
Speak of the devil.
Well, you boys changing your horse's shoes?
Just the two front ones.
Well, I must say he looks a lot sharper than the first time I seen him.
In other words, you didn't sleep too well.
How's that?
You said you had to sleep on it. I guess you had a bad dream and decided not to race your horse against Squire.
Matter of fact, I had me a mighty satisfying dream. Just real as life. I saw Star Hill breezing down Main Street an easy winner. Oh, you can't back down on me now just because you heard the mining equipment is finally arriving.
It is? Well, Carlisle never backed down yet.
2 o'clock this afternoon, then? Let's shake on it.
Let's put it in writing instead.
I already have. A winner gets all of the Sugarloaf mine, and this is something that'll hold up in any court.
Monty, you shouldn't have let Murdoch trick you into this.
Well, half of mine's no good anyway.
Get ready. One, two.
Can't understand it.
Well, it's not so hard to understand, Murdoch. We just tore a page out of your book.
Now, how'd you work it? What'd you do?
Well, I knew you'd never make the bet unless you figured it was a sure thing, which meant that you'd probably kidnap Squire and hold a test race.
That still doesn't explain it.
This will. We put these heavy shoes, weighing 4 pounds apiece, on Squire's front hooves for your race last night. That slowed him down. And this morning, we put the regular shoes back on. Here, nail them up over your mantle.
The winning of that horse race was only the beginning for the Carlisle brothers. For the Sugarloaf mine became one of the most productive in the history of the Old West.